Unit 7. Fundamentals of Anatomy and Physiology in Sports. After completing the unit, students will be able to identify the importance of anatomy and physiology, recognize the functions of the skeleton, understand the functions of bones, and identify various types of joints. Figure out the properties and functions of muscles and understand how they work. Understand the anatomy of the respiratory system and describe its working. And identify and analyze the layout and functions of circulatory system. Anatomy is the scientific study of the structure of an organism, while physiology is the study of the functions of different systems of the body and their relation with one another. Physiology is a branch of biology that studies how organ system, tissues, cells and molecules work and how their function are put together to maintain our internal environment. Meaning of anatomy and physiology. Anatomy, the branch of biology concerned with the body structure of humans, animals, and other living organisms, especially as revealed by dissection and the separation of parts. Physiology, a branch of biology that deals with the functions and activities of life or of living matter, such as organs, tissues, or cells, and of the physical and chemical phenomena involved. Major body systems. The human body includes 9 major organ systems, each composed of various organs and tissues that work together as a functional unit. 1. Skeletal system. 2. Muscular system. 3. Circulatory system. 4. Digestive system. 5. Respiratory system. 6. Nervous system. 7. Reproductive system. 8. Excretory system. And 9. Endocrine system. Importance of anatomy and physiology in physical education. Human anatomy and physiology are essential for physical education and sports performance. 1. Anatomy provides the knowledge of structure of various organs. Human anatomy provides detailed knowledge of the structure, shape, size and weight of organs, allowing teachers and coaches to select sports according to student traits. 2. Physiology provides the knowledge about the functions of various organs. Physiology is essential for physical training, providing knowledge of organs, nervous system, muscular system, and excretory system. 3. Helpful in the prevention from sports injuries. Sports injuries such as sprain, strain, contusion, fracture, and dislocation are common in games and sports, but proper knowledge of human anatomy and physiology can prevent them. 4. Helpful in process of rehabilitation. The knowledge of human anatomy is essential for effective rehabilitation of injured players, as it provides knowledge of bones, joints, ligaments, tendons, and muscles. 5. Helpful in the selection of sports. Human anatomy and physiology are essential for selecting sports, as they can help us understand the shape, size, constitution, and functional capacities of different organs. 6. Helpful in the preparation of training program. Good training programs can only be prepared with knowledge of human anatomy and physiology. 7. Helpful to know about chemical changes during exercise. The knowledge of chemical changes in the body can be used to improve sports performance. 8. Helpful to know about anatomical and physiological differences among males and females. Human anatomy and physiology can help understand the differences between males and females in terms of sports and equipment, such as shoulder structure and running ability. 9. Helpful in providing first aid to sports persons. Knowledge of human anatomy is essential for first aid, as it provides a firm base for protection and treatment of wounded sports persons. 10. Helpful in physical fitness development. The knowledge of human anatomy and physiology is essential for physical fitness development, as different components of physical fitness are needed for different sports. 11. Helpful in sports massage. Sports massage is used to reduce or settle imbalances in soft tissues, prevent sports injuries, and improve sports performance. 12. Helpful in providing the knowledge of environment effects on sports persons. The knowledge of anatomy and physiology is essential for understanding environmental effects on sports persons, such as increased red blood cells and increased heart rate. Functions of skeletal system, classification of bone and types of joints. Skeletal system. The skeletal system consists of 206 bones in the body, made up of calcium phosphate, carbonate, calcium fluoride, magnesium chloride, and some organic elements. It provides framework for the body and is divided into two parts, axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton. The axial skeleton consists of the bones of skull and trunk, vertebrae column and chest. These bones protect brain, spinal cord, heart, and lungs. It also protects inner structure of eyes and ears. A. Skull 28. B. Sternum 1. C. Ribs 24. D. Hyoid bone 1. E. Vertebral column, adult 26. Child 33. Appendicular skeleton. The appendicular skeleton consists of bones of the arms, legs including hands, feet, shoulders, and hip. Appendicular skeleton provides a wide range of movement. Upper limbs 64. Lower limbs 62. Skull. The cranium is the part of the skull that protects the brain, made up of 8 bones fused along zigzag lines. Trunk. The trunk is the central part of the human body, composed of the vertebrae column, thoracic region, lumbar region, sacrum and coccyx, chest, sternum, and rib cage. The ribs are shaped like crescents and are attached to the thoracic vertebrae at the back and the sternum at the front. Upper limb. Arms are the upper limbs of the human body, consisting of 32 bones in each arm, including clavicle, scapula, humerus, radius, ulna, carpals, metacarpals, and phalanges. Lower limb. Legs are the lower limbs of the human body and contain 31 bones, including the femur, patella, tibia, fibula, tarsal bones, metatarsal bones, and phalanges. Functions of the skeletal system. The major functions of the skeletal system are: 1. Provide strength. Bones give support and stability to the whole body. 2. Gives protection. Bones protect some soft and delicate organs of our body: heart, brain, and lungs. 3. Give shape to body. Bones give shape to the body. A person's height depends on bones. 4. Works as levers. Bones act as levers in the body so that the work may be done easily. 5. Storehouse of minerals. There are such bones in the body that provide minerals to the body. These minerals are very useful for our life. 6. Construction of blood cells. Red blood cells are built up in the bone marrow of the bone. 7. Gives support to muscles. Bones provide support to muscles and provide surface for the attachment of skeletal muscles. Classification of the bones. Bones are classified according to their shape and size. 1. Long bones. Due to their long length, some bones are called long bones. These are situated in upper and lower limbs. These are found in shoulders, hands, hips and legs. Long bones act as levers in our body. These bones help us in locomotion movement. Without long bones, we can't move from one place to another. Long bones are heavy in weight. Examples of long bones are times femur, thigh bone, times tibia and fibula, bones of the lower leg, times humerus, bones of upper arm, and times radius and ulna, forearm bones. 2. Short bones. These bones are short in length. That is why they are called short bones. For example, carpals and tarsals. These bones have less weight, but they are more powerful. These bones are made of the tissues of cancellous bone and are covered with compact tissues. These bones are used for exerting force. Examples of short bones are times carpals, wrist bones, times tarsals, ankle bones, times metacarpals, bones of palm and hands, and times metatarsals, bones of feet. 3. Flat bones. Flat bones are found where there is need for protection. For example, bones of skull and ribs are flat. These bones have flat surfaces and have muscle attached to them. These bones act as shields for soft and delicate organs. For example, sternum, ribs, skull, and scapula, etc. 4. Irregular bones. These bones have some special shape size. Because of this, these bones are different from other bones. These bones are found in our spine. There are 26 irregular bones in the vertebrae column. 5. Sesamoid bones. A sesamoid bone is a small round bone that is embedded within a tendon, whose purpose is to reinforce and decrease stress on that tendon. These bones are found in knees, patella, hands and feet. Joints of bones. Joints are the places where two or more bones meet in the skeletal system, and the shape and size of each joint is based on its functioning. These joints are divided on the basis of movement in the following ways. 1. Immovable joints or fibrous joints. These joints are also called immovable joints because these joints are joined together through tissue. These joints are immovable in nature. There is no cartilage present between these. They are found in the bones of skull and face. 2. Slightly movable joints or cartilaginous joint. There is a liquid present in these kinds of joints. In these joints, the surface of bones is separated by some intervening substances and only slight movement is possible. For example, A. Symphysis joints. It is a joint where two long bone surfaces are connected by a broad flat disc of fibrocartilage. B. Synchondrosis joints. It is a temporary joint. The cartilage changes to bone before adulthood. This joint is found between diaphysis and epiphysis of the long bone. 3. Freely movable joints or synovial joints. The synovial joint is composed of cartilage, ligaments, and tendons, which provide stability and a smooth surface to the ends of both bones. For example, joint of legs and arms. Freely movable joints are of various kinds. 1. Gliding joints. These joints have gliding power. Their movement depends on the ligaments which build them. This kind of joint has a capacity to move in any direction. For example, joints of wrists and ankles. Two hinge joints. These joints permit angular movement in one direction like a door on its hinges. For example, joints in elbows, knees, and fingers. Three condyloid joints. In this kind of joint, movement takes place in two directions. For example, in a wrist joint, there is flexion, extension, adduction, abduction, circulation but no rotation. 4. Saddle joint. This kind of joint has many movements. For example, a thumb's joint. It enables the thumb to oppose fingers. 5. Ball and socket joints. This kind of joint has one end of the bone round like a ball and the other end like a cup. For example, hip and shoulder joints. 6. Pivot points. These are joints with a rotatory movement in one axis. In this form, a ring rotates around a pivot or a pivot-like process rotates within ring being formed of bone and cartilage, e.g., atlas and axis bones at the top of the neck. Properties and functions of muscles. Muscle cells, also known as muscle fibers or myocytes, are the fundamental units of our muscles. Humans have three types of muscle: skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. Our skeletal muscles are under conscious control, while our smooth muscle, found in the walls of our blood vessels and our hollow organs, and cardiac muscle are not. The 45% weight of human body is because of muscles. There are three internal reactions in the contraction of muscles. The contraction of muscles by the current produced in central nervous system. The change of the muscle's fibers into some small constructional elements. And chemical changes that provides energy to contract the muscles. All muscle cells share four primary properties that distinguish them from other cells. Number 1. Excitability. Acetylcholine activates receptors on the surface of the muscle cell, resulting in an influx of positively charged sodium ions and a depolarization of the membrane. Number 2. Contractility. Muscle cells contract when stimulated by neural input, which leads to the opening of calcium channels and the binding of tropomyosin, myosin and actin to small strands of myofilaments, causing the cell to shorten or contract. Number 3. Extensibility. Muscle cells lack the capacity to stretch, but can be stretched to 3 times their contracted length without rupturing. This is important in coordinated movements, such as when the hamstring in the back of the thigh contracts while the quadriceps are extended. And number 4. Functions and structures of muscles. Functions of muscles. The muscle system is a machine that converts chemical energy into mechanical energy. There are 3 kinds of muscles: voluntary, involuntary, and cardiac, and 2 kinds of skeletal muscle fibers, red and white. These fibers have different functions. Different muscles and fibers function in the following manner. Muscle contractions carry out of the 2 things: either they maintain a posture or they cause movement. Some muscles are helpful in enhancing movement. Voluntary muscles provide power to the movement of bone system. Muscles give shape and size to the body. And the body works by the contraction and relaxation of the muscles. Gross structure of muscles or microscopic of skeletal muscle. Movement is the basis of all human activities, and the human body contains 650 different muscles. These muscles are attached to bones, cartilage, ligaments and skins, and are made up of tiny threads known as fibers which are attached to one another in thousands through connective tissue. Each fiber has sarcoplasm in liquid form, and myofibrils produce contraction in the muscles. Connective tissues bind 100 to 150 muscles fibers and form a small bundle named fascicles. Muscles bind with bones with the help of tendons. Two types of fibers are found in muscles. 1. Red fibers. Red fibers contract very slowly. That is why these fibers play a prominent role in activities full of endurance long-distance races. 2. White fibers. These fibers contract fast and produce explosive power. That is why these fibers play an important role in the activities full of power anaerobic exercise like high jump, football, short-distance races, and weightlifting. Constructive classification of muscles. On the basis of their structure, muscles have been classified as follows. 1. Voluntary or skeletal muscles. Striped muscles have the greatest diversity in shape, size, strength, speed of contraction, extension, and the means for which they are attached to the bones or other tissues. They are helpful in the movement of oxygen from one place to another and respiration. They react quickly to stimuli and are capable of rapid contractions, but get tired quickly due to their rapid function. These muscles can be divided into two parts, slow twitch and fast twitch. A. Slow twitch, type I, or red muscles have more mitochondria and myoglobin, allowing them to produce more power and continue the aerobic process for longer. However, they have less power. B. Fast twitch. These muscles have less number of mitochondria than the slow twitch muscles. Muscles' contraction speed is higher. In addition, the force produced by these muscles is also greater than the slow twitch muscles. 2. Involuntary or smooth muscles. Unstriped muscles are responsible for the characteristic movements of the alimentary canal, controlling and adjusting the diameter of blood vessels and ducts. They respond slowly to stimuli but are capable of long-term sustained contractions. They possess active or myosin filaments, which are different from skeletal muscles. 3. Cardiac muscles. These muscles have stripes and branches, and each cell has a large oval centrally located nucleus. They are red in color and have full independence. Functions and structure of circulatory system and heart. The circulatory system, cardiovascular system, consisting of the heart, blood vessels, and blood circulates through them. The main function of the circulatory system is to provide oxygen, nutrients, hormones to muscles, tissues, and organs throughout the body. It also removes waste from cells and organs. Heart is the main organ in the circulatory system which pumps oxygenated blood in all over the body. The heart. The heart is a hollow, muscular pump about the size of a fist. It lies near the middle of the chest, between the lungs. It is situated closer to the front of the chest, slightly to the left side. The walls of the heart are made up from strong cardiac muscle, which is covered with 3 layers of tissue. Epicardium is the outer layer of the heart, myocardium is the middle layer, and endocardium is the inner layer of the heart. Heart chambers. The heart is divided into 2 chambers, the upper 2 chambers called the atrium and lower chambers called the ventricles. The right atrium receives blood from the veins and pumps it to the right ventricle, where it is loaded with oxygen. The left ventricle pumps oxygen-rich blood to the rest of the body, creating our blood pressure. The heart contracts and relaxes about 60 to 80 times every minute during a rest, keeping blood flowing throughout the body. Heart valves. The walls are like doors between chambers of the heart. They open and close to allow blood to flow through. The atrioventricular AV walls open between your upper and lower heart chambers. They include tricuspid valve, door between your right atrium and right ventricle. Mitral valve, door between your left atrium and left ventricle. Semilunar SL, walls open when blood flows out of ventricles. They include aortic valve, opens when blood flows out of left ventricle to aorta, artery that carries oxygen-rich blood to your body. Pulmonary valve, opens when blood flows from your right ventricle to your pulmonary arteries, the only arteries that carry oxygen-poor blood to your lungs. Functions of the circulatory system. The main functions of the circulatory system are circulation of blood. The circulatory system supplies oxygen to the body through deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. Transport nutrients. Circulatory system transport nutrients such as glucose, amino acids, and fatty acids dissolved in the blood or bound to plasma proteins, example, blood lipids, through blood. Transport hormones. It helps in transport of hormones in all over the body to their target sites and organs. Removes waste. It helps in removal of waste such as carbon dioxide, urea, and lactic acid from the body. Prevent infections. White blood cells protect the body from infections by detecting foreign material and attacking it. Coagulation. Coagulation is the process of converting blood into a semi-solid gel to stop bleeding. Regulates body temperature. Circulatory system also helps to regulate the core body temperature and hydraulic functions. Types of circulation. There are three types of circulation in the circulatory or cardiovascular system. A. Pulmonary circulation. The pulmonary circulation is the circulation of the blood between the heart and the lungs. The impure blood from the right atrium passes into the right ventricle and then into the pulmonary artery, where it leaves CO2 and takes O2. The exchange of CO2 and O2 takes place here, and pulmonary capillaries unite until veins are formed. Blood returns to the heart by four pulmonary veins, which emit purified blood into the left auricle. B. Systematic circulation. Systematic circulation is the circulation of blood between the heart and the rest of the body, with blood coming out from the left ventricle and passing through small arteries. Arteries resist the flow of blood due to their narrow passage. Here arteries perform two functions. 1. Maintenance of arterial blood pressure. 2. Regulation of blood flow into capillaries. These capillaries have thin walls, so that exchange between plasma and interstitial fluid may take place well. The capillaries unite and form veins which, in turn, become inferior vena cava and superior vena cava. C. Coronary circulation. This type of circulation provides the heart with oxygenated blood so it can function properly. Function and structure of respiratory system. The respiratory system is the major system in the body responsible for gas exchange. It includes airways, lungs, and blood vessels. Breathing is the process of bringing oxygen into the lungs and passing it through the bloodstream to tissues and organs that allow us to walk, talk, and move. Respiration is a two-way process, with internal respiration between blood and different tissues and external respiration between the lungs and external environment. Functions of respiratory system. The functions of the respiratory system are as follow. 1. It exchanges the CO2 and O2 between air and blood. 2. It excretes the CO2 and waste products from the body. 3. It regulates the temperature of the body. 4. It controls the pH value of the body. 5. It affects the blood flow and heart rate. Respiratory rate and heart rate increases and decreases simultaneously. 6. It protects from bacteria. Structure of the respiratory system. The respiratory system begins in the nose, continues into the pharynx and larynx, leads to the trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles, and ends in puffy structures called alveoli. Gas exchange occurs within alveoli, and changes to the volume and pressure in the lungs are the primary driving forces for breathing. Nose. The nose is an important organ of the respiratory system. It helps us to smell things. It plays a key role in the respiration process. It has two parts, external feature and internal cavities. 1. External features. It is triangular frame of bones and cartilage. It is covered with skin. There are two nostrils in the inner side of the nose. 2. Internal cavities. These two cavities are divided into two parts. Each cavity has a lot of small hair. The hair acts as a filter. The oxygen we inhale is cleared so some unwanted particles are trapped by the hair. Pharynx. Behind the nose is pharynx. It is a muscular tube which extends from the base of the skull to its junction with the oesophagus at the level of cricoid cartilage. Larynx. After pharynx, the wind passes through larynx, which is made of cartilage. It has two pairs of membranes. Air causes the vocal cords to vibrate and it produces sound. Trachea. Trachea is also called windpipe. It is somewhat cylindrical shape. Its length is 11.9 centimeters and its diameter is 2 to 2.5 centimeters. It is in the front of food pipe, oesophagus. After that, it gets divided into two bronchi. Each tube is related to its own lung. The windpipe has valves. There is a valve at the entrance of the windpipe. This valve stops food from entering the windpipe. Bronchi. The two bronchi are somewhat different from windpipe. The right bronchus is smaller, wider, and more vertical than the left bronchus. Both the bronchi enter the right and left lungs respectively, and then break up into a greater number of smaller bronchus. Diaphragm. Diaphragm is a sheet of internal skeletal muscle that extends across the bottom of the rib cage. It separates the thoracic cavity, heart, lung and ribs from the abdominal cavity and performs an important function in respiration. When it contracts, the volume of thoracic cavity increases and air is drawn into the lungs. Lungs. The right lung has three sections called lobes and is a little larger than the left lung, which has two lobes. The bronchial tubes are divided into smaller air passages called bronchi, and then into bronchioles. The bronchioles end in tiny air sacs called alveoli, where oxygen is transferred from the inhaled air to the blood. After absorbing oxygen, the blood leaves the lungs and is carried to the heart. The blood then is pumped through your body to provide oxygen to the cells of your tissues and organs. When cells use oxygen, carbon dioxide is produced and transferred to the blood. Your blood is carried back to your lungs and it is removed when you exhale.